we will ponder upon the Reddit posts. Because I have a bunch of like Reddit posts that I just kind of, the title kind of caught my eye, and I'm just curious. There's a bunch of them, so we're probably just not gonna care. There is a weird post that just is titled "How to Git Good." We're about to find out how to get good. I don't know if it's a guide or just a question, by the way. Actually, hold on. Hide bookmarks bar so it's not too distracting. How to get good. I see a lot of seasoned players complaining about the average player skill in this game. I mean, for good reason. There's a very good reason why they're complaining about it. Because the average skill level in this game is very difficult to grasp anymore. There's either like giga casuals or giga high end. There's like very few in between players anymore. Because we have that kind of like a vast scale of difficulty. Well, I picked up the game a month ago and I want to improve. What kind of advice would you give to a player like me? Ooh. Note, I am talking about advice for a player with sloppy mechanics, but not a total beginner. I have multiple classes at 90, but I know that I am missing a lot of their potential. Okay, at least he's kind of aware of himself. Learn rotation from the balance. Practice it on striking dummy till you don't... I don't think they know what balance is. They need to tell them into the Discord group. Dummy till you don't have to commit such brain power to do it perfectly, so get muscle memory, I guess, yeah. Do some trials, raids, and upload your logs to FF Logs, and plug it into XIV analysis. Find what problems you still have left and work on those. That is a lot. I like that. This is a big jump. So first, just practice. Just practice until you memorize your rotation and you'll do good. Then start logging, analyze the fuck out of their logs, find problems. The thing you practice, fix it. Everything else is just getting exposure to mechanics and practice how to quickly identify things. Yeah, that is true. To piggyback on the XIV analysis, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it only functions properly if the log you're analyzing was max level job duty A+ advice though. I mean, yeah, they do function specifically off of high-end raids and specifically the end game. I don't think they're gonna be functioning. I mean, they... Actually, I don't know. Do they function with, like, ultimate raids from, like, previous levels? It also doesn't work well for ultimate fights where you need to hold build gauge for the next phase. That is true. So they sometimes yell at you over silly things like AoEing on a single target. That is also true. Usually, okay, so XAV analysis is like far from perfect. I guess like, cause like XAV analysis is like good for, it's good for specifically beginner level, like beginner level high-end raiders. That would be the way to phrase it. Specifically people who are learning the rotation and just need to build up and practice the fundamentals. Just the fundamentals. Once you got your fundamentals down, you can clear content. Optimization comes after. Optimization does come from specifically FF logs, but essentially it's a lot of people brainstorming together. Sorry about the tap hit there. Brainstorming together and like parsing, essentially. That would be the way to go about it. You look at how other people perform, specifically people better than you, and you improve through their experience, essentially, by comparing their logs to your logs. You look at the rotation, you look at the positioning, you look at like cooldown management, depending on like what job. They didn't specify like what job they're playing. It's hard to say, but I'm gonna assume DPS, honestly. I'm sure if you look at rank 1 Black Mage on top, everything will be red. I mean, it doesn't matter like if it's rank 1. You don't look at like specifically at rank 1. Look at like the top rank 10, like those 10 people. They will all play a bit differently. Maybe they're like got different builds, but like cross-reference between multiple logs. Yeah. Hell, you can even probably just go like through multiple parses as well. Like go through like the top 100. Don't go specifically for the top, because those people, they know what they're doing. If you're just going to copy what they're doing, you're just going to be copying something you don't understand. In analysis, I mean, pretty much, yeah. What I'm saying, it's like it's good for fundamentals, but once you need to start learning to optimize, analysis is gonna be going just haywire because analysis is just built to use cooldowns as many times as possible, use things correctly, and use things. Like the most useful part of XAV analysis is looking through specific mistakes like broken combos and just looking at the timeline, how people use cooldowns and where. But it depends. There's like a whole gradual thing to how to improve. It's also kind of broken for all ultimates too. Okay. I'm not familiar with the log, how you refer. You can just Google this. I don't need to explain. If you memorize the recommended rotation, you won't need to log to a log to gauge process. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Sometimes having a machine struggling to play the game can make it look like you're doing worse than you actually are doing. I disagree. There's a whole conversation going on right now about Summoner. Like, let me pull it up. There is a whole meme about it, because like Summoner rotation, let's be honest, in Savage content it's easy. You put Legos, you do 1 Lego, 2 Lego, 3 Lego, big Lego, 1 Lego, 2 Lego, you know, and raid buffs on time. Once you hit the ultimate raids, I'm not saying like this person specifically needs to go do ultimate raids specifically for there's a whole picture going about that's like Summoner DSR rotation, and you'll see that it's vastly different from a normal 2-minute rotation. Because like once in Ultimate, once you are specifically forced to adjust, you're gonna learn that just having a 2-minute meta is not gonna be all that great. Holding, managing cooldowns, bursting at right times, you know, besides doing mechanics at the same time. It all comes down specifically in Ultimates, but essentially don't get too stuck up specifically on just practicing your 2-minute rotation and just thinking that's it. Because once you learn your rotation, that's good. You know the basics and fundamentals of your job, but God forbid you need to adjust, God forbid you do mistakes, you die, or anything else, right? You need to somehow reset your rotation. You need to somehow figure out how to reset your rotation and realign it with the 2-minute meta buff. You need to figure out how to manage your resources correctly, so sometimes you might have to finish a burst early, or you need to burst before a 2-minute meta. Sorry, the 2-minute time frame. It depends very much on fight to fight. We're still within the 2-minute meta, but sometimes like the fights will deviate from that, and you need to figure out how to adjust your cooldowns. And that XAV analysis is very good for fundamentals. Again, learn rotation, do the fundamentals, but then learn your job properly. You're the usual meme of you're a fucking adult, read your tooltips and learn how to optimize and adjust your rotation after. Because it's not just about doing the perfect rotation for as long as possible. Sometimes you just need to not be the dickhead that greeds in the group, so you can actually clear content. Yeah, pretty much like the suggestion is essentially just to learn fundamentals, but in case of specifically getting good at raiding, you just need to raid. That's what you need to do. Because like any of the high-end players, when they're not streaming, do you know what they're doing? They're raiding. They're practicing. They're constantly raiding. They're not just, you know, they're good by, you know, sheer talent or, you know, by being so fucking good at it. They practice. They're constantly raiding. They're constantly doing content. They're constantly in game. They're constantly like either in Party Finder or raiding with groups or subbing into other groups as well. Because like the high-end raiding community is usually a very like close community. And people, like, most of the time will know each other. Or, like, recognize the blacklists. But, yeah. When it comes to raiding specifically, just raid. Just raid. How to get good specifically at your job, learn fundamentals, and learn to deviate and be... Not deviate, but, like, be versatile with your job after.